was just a duffel bag with $400,000 in it. I'm like, what are we doing? What is that? What is that? Who does that?
Yeah,
There's $400K right there in a bag. Why do you have that? I'm not going to tell you.
Imagine waking up every day and your boy is like 2 doors down.
All the homies in this building. There's so many big guys in this
It's
building.
insane, guys. It's insane.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
That's the conversations that we have now, dude. Literally got a phone call today of my friend that's in private equity. He manages $7 billion.
Yeah. You hear that? With a B.
With a B, like a big B.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to today's podcast. I'm with the man, the legend, Derek Wilmer.
What's going on, guys? How are we doing today?
Guys, I'm very excited for this podcast. I actually connected with Derek in a really hilarious and really weird situation. I'm going to go into it in this video. If you guys are trying to connect with people online, don't discount any other social media platform, even if you're on a burner account. That's kind of leading into how I even met him.
Yeah.
So
Twitter's an incredible tool.
Yeah. But I want to talk about it in a minute. Guys, or Derek, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? My name is Derek Wilmer. I am another Wi-Fi money guy. I'm born and raised in Minnesota, now in Scottsdale, Arizona. Beautiful Scottsdale, love it here. Connected with Frank recently over Twitter, and we came to just have a brief conversation, go over some of the cool stuff that he does, cool stuff that I do, and see if we can bring some value to everyone.
Yep, there you go. So I'll just tell the story right away because I just teased it, guys. So it was actually January 31st when I DM'd you on Twitter. So back on my old Twitter account, my old profile picture is literally Jake Paul when he looks like he's cracked out.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet, Sebastian's tweet, and then below I saw a response and it said, DM me if you're trying to do short form content, something like that.
Yep.
And I was like, at the time, I didn't have a short form editor. So I was like, all right, well, this guy's kind of responding under Sebastian, and I see Sebastian follows him. So I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and slide in the DMs and see what's up.
Yeah.
So on my burner account, I'm like, yo, dude, this is my burner account. This is my main account. This is my Instagram. Just so he knew like I wasn't like some random ass account.
I definitely thought you were just a bot or some shit.
Yeah, it's like a bot looking account, to be fair. But long story short, we go back and forth. That night, we spend an hour on the phone.
Literally an hour. Literally
talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
Covered everything. We talked about cars for like 30 minutes. We talked about all my other businesses, everything, and we hit it off right away. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was right away where we just kind of clicked. I know you definitely know those kind of relationships, those kind of friendships. You just know, in the beginning. And now fast forward, 4 months, here we are in Scottsdale, Arizona, with the beautiful mountains in the back, and just chopping it up. We had great conversations today, hanging out, and he was very great showing us around the town. Guys, I love Brickell, Miami. But I can't lie.
Scottsdale's it, bro.
Scottsdale is honestly really...
Everyone come to Scottsdale.
It's really, really solid.
Yes.
I have no other words. But safe, clean, cool people. And cheaper. A lot cheaper than Brickell.
A lot cheaper than Brickell.
I really got to take things into consideration here, what I want to do, because...
we can go tour apartments tomorrow, bro.
I'm down. I'm down. But, guys, moving on to the next point, I really want to just... go into some of Derek's adventures real quick before we even go any further, so the audience gets to know you even more on a deeper level. So you want to elaborate on some of the work you're currently doing or some of the work you've currently done, some clients you've worked with, any of that?
Absolutely, yeah. So off the bat, like you said, we connected over Twitter for short form content. I've been doing editing and managing for short form accounts for different creators left and right over the course of the last almost year, give or take. And it was based off a single Twitter thread from our mutual friend now, Sebastian Georgiou. And I basically, over the course of the last few months, have scaled up to just a couple creators here and there, helping out to kind of taking it to the next level and trying to work with guys like Grant Cardone right now and Gary Vaynerchuk and taking it up a notch and showing them what the power of like mass short form can be doing, right? So the short form content agency, Wi-Fi Creations, love that brand, love that team. We're doing great things there, helping people out. I think we're going to be bringing you back on shortly.
We will be.
Yeah. We got Fresh and Fit in there. We've worked with guys like Sebastian. We have worked with Jordan Welch. We have worked with Luke Belmar. And so anyone that needs short form content, I got to hype myself up on that one. I don't know anyone that's touching our stuff right now. That's a humble brag. Like, we can literally scale up any account like anyone else. And I don't want to be another one of those short form agency guys, but it's like we took it to a different notch. And ever since then, it's just been like I feel like we can work with anybody now. So that's been fun.
Yeah, he's not joking when he says, like, they got some crazy clients, crazy people they're working with. And yeah, I get so many Instagram DMs. People like, yo, let me do your short form stuff.
Bro, everyone.
Let me do your long form as well. But like, Derek's not capping. the people he has, particularly one individual.
Musa, we got to shout out Musa.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you want to drop
his
name
name. No,
or
that's
not.
my boy. That's our superhero.
Okay, yeah, that kid's on demon time.
We got dude
24/7.
Musa in the UK. Dude's an animal.
Yeah, he's one of their main guys, their main content directors, or what do you call him?
Head of creation.
Head of
Head of creation. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that kid alone has pretty much brought like dead channels back to life, as well as going from like newer channels that are getting a few couple thousand views per month to then getting 10 million views over the
125 million views in 28 days on a brand new channel. That's our biggest dub.
Absolutely insane. So now you understand why people like Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, all these people are wanting to work with him.
Yes.
So maybe some of the short form content you're actually watching from them is from their
super
team.
high odds that it's came from us at one point in time or another.
Yeah. So
the short form content agency, that's the fun thing that we're playing with. I don't want to call it a side project because it's definitely not, but it's not the main project. Secondly, I'm a co-founder and a general partner in a hedge fund, fully registered here in the U.S. We enjoy managing money. We enjoy making money for our clients. And in the pursuit of that, that's opened up a bunch of doors and introductions here in conversation, adding business to our private equity. We want to start getting into holding companies. We're working on acquisitions and playing that game. And so in that process, my network around me, I'm trying to level up and introduce tons of new business owners and entrepreneurs to the idea of acquisitions and providing value to their business by buying other companies that can be an addition to what they're already doing, instead of hiring a VA or something. Like, dude, go buy a SaaS agency that complements what you're already doing or something like that. So in that space, we're looking to scale up big and fast.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are going to notice throughout the podcast, Derek is involved in a lot of things that a lot of people don't even know like kind of exists or even take into consideration or think about.
Some different corners.
A lot of high level things that you really just kind of you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So you brought a lot of stuff to my mind. You kind of had me blown away earlier, some of the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, we got into it a little bit.
Yeah, I went back to my hotel room. I was just like thinking like, damn, dude. And I got even more hyped. I want to tell you guys too. Y'all got this building like on lock.
Dude.
Do you want to mention that or no?
Yeah. So we live in northern Scottsdale here, kind of away from all the noise and Old Town, what everyone knows about. And in this specific building that we're in here, we've got some of the biggest guys in the entire NFT world. NFT Academy is centralized here. We have like we talked about, Sebastian, some other friends here, and like the amount of oddly different niche forms of money that are in this building around me, like every single day, the guys that I connect with around here, like we're moving so many more people into this area that are like over the partying. Like we've all done it, we're all over it, we're far enough away from the noise, but it's like we are in Scottsdale surrounded by so much money that's playing it differently. Like we almost all grew out of the partying phase and went to the next level right away, and that's what we're all about here.
Yeah. So imagine
nothing against Brickell, but yeah, I'm kind of, the clubs, bro, drop it. Come on, grow up, come to Scottsdale, hang out with the big boys. Like, this is where it's at, I promise.
I mean, he's not wrong. I've been here for like 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours. And like that quick, I'm like, yo.
Yeah, you've met some money. We've met some money. We're going to meet some more.
Yeah, some big dogs, if you want to call them that. But guys, imagine waking up every day and your boy is like two doors down.
Yeah, no, all the homies. Like, all the homies in this building. Like there's so many big guys in this
It's
building.
insane, guys. It's insane.
It's smooth. And we're trying to get more of them here. Like I said, I'm all over Money Twitter, just kind of convince these guys, I promise you this is where you need to be.
Yeah. So
and every morning you get that view. Like it's not bad. So when we had first connected in January, a lot of our conversation was around like, yo, how do we scale up your social media presence? Because like as an initial client of like me and my team, we're like, we got to blow up all of our clients and see what we can do here. And the idea was pitched in January, like, dude, let's do a Zoom call like interview, and we'll just like totally script it and do a YouTube video out of that and get you content. And after going back and forth, thankfully, instead of that, he flew out here and we became way better homies since. And now we get to have this conversation. But like, I wanted to talk about like the highlight of like, how did you line up your conversation with Sneeko like as your first real YouTube video, and like how you're stepping into the YouTube game like this?
Yeah, so I'll give you guys the entire story real quick while trying to keep it brief, trying to keep it not too long, but how I basically connected with Sneeko pretty much.
Yeah.
So it started several steps before that. And for those of you guys that may have watched the podcast with Shane, shout out to Shane. I explained this a little bit as well.
Definitely shout out to Shane. Shout out to Shane.
Derek actually connecting with Shane, so Derek's the G for networking and stuff, but I actually wound up connecting with Sneeko through the Fresh and Fit guys. So I built that relationship with Fresh. I'm closer with him than Myron. I mean, there's no beef or anything weird like that. But, like, I'm closer with Fresh. Fresh is close with Sneeko, obviously. They're in the same kind of niche of online content. And they live, like, 2 minutes away from each other in Brickell. So I was going back and forth with Fresh for a little bit, and then I actually saw Sneako's manager said, yo, Sneako's actually doing a lot of podcasts now. And the tour was L.A., Vegas, and then in Miami. Yep. And I remember when I saw that, like, he gave me the dates and stuff for it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I might fly out to L.A. to do the Sneako interview, Sneako podcast. And that actually wound up falling through. So I had to go ahead and reorganize it with his manager. And one thing led to another. Yeah. We set up a time, a date. And then, yeah, man, it was pretty wild. It was funny because I actually met him before we did that podcast, but he was
yacht, right?
Yeah, but he was just like drunk and
that'll happen.
He was.
Dude, I told you,
something.
Brickell, Miami's a bunch of degenerates.
Yeah. But that was kind of my stepping stone right now for where I'm at in the social media game, if you want to call it that. Yeah. I'm still so early. I hate calling myself like a social media person. I don't. It's kind of cringe to me, but
you're getting there.
I get
very fast.
I guess so. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. I'm looking to be getting other people of that kind of caliber on soon as well. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much the entire story of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So something that like really got to me about it was you were like instantly trying to like, yo, how do we make this like a group thing? And like you and I connected on that right away. I consider myself a professional like dot connector. Like,
yeah, you definitely are.
The way that I've moved through business has just been bringing point A to point B and being involved one way or another. If I gain from it monetarily, dope. If I don't, whatever. Both of those guys are now my friends, or guys, girls, whatever. Yeah. And like, because I've connected a bunch of people for a bunch of stuff. And you were instantly on board with like, yo, let's get Sneako out to Scottsdale. Let's line him up with Sebastian, because Sebastian's one of my homies. I'm like, bro, I need to get Sneako and Sebastian on. We got to get you and Sebastian on. And you were on board with that right away. And that's what really hyped me up was, how do we take advantage of the people that I'm connecting with and the people you're connecting with, bring them together on episodes, scale up my social media presence as yours at the same time. And it's not to be selfish, but that's what this game is. Dude.
Everyone wins in that case.
Yeah, everyone wins in this case. And like that's what we were trying to do. So once I saw that you're down to like try and bring Sneako on and stuff, I was like, all right, 100%. Who can I connect Frank with across the board? Like you got George coming up tomorrow, right? You're gonna interview.
Yeah,
George
I'm interviewing George, and American Income. For you guys who don't know who that is, he does like street interviews with people. He's had some crazy guests. Steve will do it. Neil from Timepiece Trading. Yeah. A whole bunch of people, honestly. But he's actually talk about growing fast on social media. He started in July. And now he's at over 500,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. So he's scaling up very quickly. Shout out to Adam. He's the boy.
I got to have a conversation with him about his short form.
Yeah, you should. You should. So that's, yeah, bro. We're just going at light speed over here now.
Yeah, I like that. And it's almost one of those things where it's like, based off this conversation, I feel like you'll be able to leverage, some of the people that I know, because I'm not active on social at all. Like I don't think I posted on Instagram even this year, and I just don't be posting my life. I've got rules to kind of follow with the hedge fund and being in that money game. I have to follow a lot of rules, and it shut me down on social, but I know I need to bring it back around. Mm-hmm. I'm literally surrounded by YouTubers.
Yeah,
it's
like insane.
We're all hanging out, and I'm like the only not YouTuber. So we're going to be adding on to it shortly, but I want to definitely tap in more with you, travel with you, go do larger interviews. And I think we could be really productive by bringing my network and your network together for like large conversations. I think that'd be dope.
Most definitely. Yeah. I know we were talking, I don't want to talk about it too much, but
yeah, we tried.
We talked about some stuff, maybe in Dubai.
Dubai would be tight. I'm down.
I'm not going to mention who we're probably going to get or who we're going to try and get for that, but
we'll get it done.
Just know, we'll get things done.
We'll be on YouTube again together for sure.
Do you have any cool stories of any crazy wins like early on in your career that really were kind of changed your perspective to like, wow, this thing's kind of like this is actually happening?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So some of my biggest days, I'll never forget my first e-commerce sale. What got me into business, I started out as custom metal home decor laser cut signs. So we were doing personalized metal signs, like a fire pit landscape. Put your name on it. Cool. We'd sell it like crazy, right? We went nuts with that over the years. But in 2018. It's August. It was like 2 weeks after I'd quit my job to go and start this e-com brand with a buddy. We were on the couch watching TV after a really long day of building and working on the site and stuff, and we had no ads running or anything, and both of our phones, Shopify, cha-ching at the same time, and like I like got like sick. It didn't even make sense to me. We were just sitting on the couch and I wasn't doing anything. We had been working our butts off all day, and all of a sudden we looked at our phone. We made $112, and it was looking at my phone. I was sitting there looking at it like, wait a second.
This is actually happening.
What just happened? Yeah. And that made us go nuts. Granted, we didn't make another sale for like 2 more weeks. Like it literally, we're like, all right, we got to chase it. We couldn't get it for 2 more weeks, but that's okay. And like that was what like that was the first time my mind was blown. And every ecom kid, every Wi-Fi money guys got that story of that first sale. It didn't make any sense to them, and that just kind of scaled us up to like our biggest day ever. Like, can never forget that. The numbers burned in my brain. Black Friday 2019, we did $161,000 in sales in one day, and like at the time that was,
you hear
like,
that? 161,000 in one day.
Yeah, wasn't no drop shipping, and it was no shipping, none of that. We were making products in house. I had my hands on every single one of our signs that we shipped out, and it was insane. And like that, ever since that day, I can't keep my eye off the ball. Like it just completely changed the game as to like what that could do for my family and my kids, people ahead of me, and whatever it is down the line for my family. And like that number is just always like a new goal to go and chase and break that number to pursue. And I feel like every ecom guy can connect with that to a certain extent, their biggest, baddest day. And I feel like we had a cool one, right?
Definitely.
Sorry, guys, we had to adjust. We're outside. We wanted to do something a little bit different for a scene setup, and the sun had totally set. We had to set up the light real quick.
Yeah, Joe Rogan could never, as Derek was saying.
Joe Rogan could never. No, so we were just talking about like the idea of some of the most memorable like wins and stuff, and to kind of go into like some of my like losses and stuff like that, because I want to go into yours as well. There's been as many losses as there have been wins. Thankfully, the wins have been bigger than the losses.
All that matters.
Yeah, that is what matters. You'll continue to lose. You'll continue to get screwed. That's just the game. That's the name of the game. If you're not getting screwed, just a big one's loading, and that's way worse.
Yeah.
That's way worse. Biggest, dude, L's recently, like just in January alone, I was trying to step into a new arena.
This one's bad.
Yeah, this isn't ideal. I was trying to step into a new arena of large level crypto dealings and brokering of deals, and stepping into that new arena, I went into it with a bunch of confidence because I'd been on a bunch of wins, and without really thinking much, I ended up getting scanned for about $70K. Super far from my deal, but that's the name of the game. I did my best to perform due diligence, and I still ended up getting screwed. But it's like it's just another lesson. It was sadly a really expensive lesson, but it was just a new one to add to the game. And now I'm moving better in that business and excelling in that business, knowing that is behind me, and I get to bring that up to people. And like we'll be joking in conversation with dealings, and I get to bring up like, yeah, dude, in January I got ran for $70K, and they're like, oh yeah. And if you admit that to someone, like in dealing in business with someone, whatever niche you're in, you're gonna be able to like go a whole lot farther with that person on like just a mutual connection, and they're willing to go harder and farther for you in working together because they know you just got screwed on something.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I bring it up as often as I can, because every time I bring it up, I definitely build a bit more of a connection with that person that I'm working with.
Yeah. Just being more vulnerable too. Builds trust even more.
Willing to admit that.
Yeah.
70K is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. 70K is a bunch of money to get scammed for. Yeah. So that being said, I wanted to ask you, in your business dealings thus far, and how long have you been in business? Like how long have you been in business for?
So, be more specific, niche down. Business in terms of investing, or in terms of also just actually having my own business?
Your own business. Yeah.
Dude, not long. Not long.
Like a year?
So I had the SMMA stuff going on.
Yep.
That wasn't like anything too crazy.
Yeah.
But my own SaaS stuff now with high level, dude, not that long. Like 7 months at this point.
7 months, okay.
Dude, not long.
That's enough to get your feet wet for sure. Yeah, you're getting there. Yeah. It's not like a me versus you. My last W-2 income was 2018. And so it's like I've been in the game for a long time in that regard, and there's just so many lessons to be had there. And then you and I will go into deeper conversation of that later. But 7 months in, the way that you're carrying yourself, how fast you're excelling, the way that you're going, and like the value that you're bringing other people in your community, that's such a move. Because right now it's really only veterans, like vets in this space, and OGs that are providing like actual value.
Yeah.
And I see you coming in with serious value and adding that. And any of the new guys are usually bringing BS in, like it's useless, and they're selling a course that they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for that, and that's super dope, and I dig that.
Thank you.
But in those 7 months, like you asked me, biggest day, worst day, average day, stuff like that, like what's most memorable in these last 7 months, you'd call it?
In terms of my business stuff, it's a lot more boring compared to my investment wins and losses.
That'll happen.
So, bro, biggest wins in terms of business, I mean, I've had a couple $1,000 days so far.
Yeah.
Biggest losses?
Yeah.
My churn rate is pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's like a consistent thing I'm trying to work on. It's honestly around like 35%. Like it's pretty damn high.
You gotta bring a CRO specialist in.
Yeah, I need. Yeah.
You gotta up your retention.
Yeah,
That's
we do.
all right.
We do. But
It's only 7 months, dude.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of boring.
It's all right.
That's kind of boring, but that's the honest answer, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so we gotta work on churn rate and stuff like that. We got CRO specialists everywhere. That's easy. That's easy.
On top of the wins and losses, some of the value being provided to what I'm doing regarding Go High Level, SaaS, No Code SaaS, because that's an up and coming thing. A lot of people are jumping on board.
It's gonna be the next e-commerce, I swear.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I came across it as well. But I think what's really different between my investment times, and I'm still doing that, on a daily basis, but what's different from that is now having a YouTube channel, actually helping people.
Yeah.
And dude, on the way here from the airport, I had like three different people reach out to me, and they're like thanking me and being like, "Yo, thanks for making this content, like
nice,
helping me out, like
nice,
showing me how to do things." And that's a really cool feeling, honestly, because it's cool to make a bunch of money, but if you're not really helping other people as well, it's kind of like it's not as fulfilling. So I think that's something you can definitely relate to.
Absolutely, absolutely. We talked about this today, like your content and what that's inspiring like me to do. Like when I started watching you take off on your shorts and seeing that scale up, we have the text message. I texted you. It's like, you inspired me. I ordered a camera and a microphone and a mic stand today for my desk. I'm going to start up content, which I still have not committed to.
Bro, you have to.
That's okay. It's only been like 10 days since I sent that text. My bad. But providing that value, like that's something that you're doing differently that like I don't have very much experience in the SaaS or SMMA space like necessarily, and seeing like personalities on YouTube providing value and actually talking about like, here's what we're doing, how we're doing it, and watching you excel more into that. That's going to scale up your community massively. That's going to put eyes on your stuff and help you build your agency up and your overall business like in its entirety for sure. Yeah. And I like to watch you do that. That's cool.
I appreciate it. Yeah, because I want to elaborate on that too, because you mentioned a point of when you're actually building up your brand and building up your presence online too. Like, I forget if I mentioned this before, but I actually have people reaching out to me now that want to work with me.
Yes.
And I'm still small as shit.
Yeah.
But I'm already having people reach out to me that want to do work.
Absolutely.
And I'm seeing that happen on a daily basis with Sebastian, for example.
Yeah,
that dude's constantly being blown up. And I'm sure other people of his
caliber.
His caliber are also experiencing the same thing. So this is another reason why I believe you're either going to wind up being a nobody or a somebody in the future. The saying is have nots and have yachts. I think I actually I heard that from Tate probably or something.
Yeah, probably.
But
that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that's something he said. But I honestly do believe that, because if you're not cultivating an audience and cultivating or inspiring a group of people to improve their lives, what are you doing? Like, you're just going to be a part of the regular system, which is fine if you don't want to do anything too crazy.
If you want to just run up a bag, yeah.
Yeah, but just keep that in mind as you're building towards the future and just building your empire, really, if you are even building one.
So like a relation that I look at in my first big business that I had ran, and we had talked about this and gone in depth earlier, at our peak, we had 31 full-time employees.
Yeah,
and like
it's a lot.
That was such a strange dynamic, because like we weren't building an audience or anything at that time. Like, we had a fan base on our Facebook account, like in our comment sections from running ads, and happy customers. But like, when it came down to like how hard we went and like the value that we were providing, like we noticed that like I didn't want to just have like a team of employees that were just doing like brainless tasks that we were assigning to them. So it came down to like teaching all of our team members like individual skills within our business that helped our business. So like our media buyers weren't just guys that were just hyper focused on how to be building ads and running campaigns. It was looking into learning a marketer, particular niche, and training them. How can you go and maximize that for our particular business now and then maybe later? And I told every single one of our people that ever worked for us, if you work for us for a day, a week, a year, I'm thankful for it, as long as you brought us value and you were able to gain something out of it and we paid your bills for X amount of time, and you leave here and go do something greater, I will cheer you on that whole time. Like, I can't wait to see you go kill it. As long as you're with us, I'd love to see you like go crazy for us. But until that time comes to an end, I'm going to wish the best for you after. And you can apply that to your audience too, in that same concept of in that business, we couldn't have really ran a YouTube channel. Like, we could have found a way, but there wasn't very many cool things to talk about, dude. We were just working with metal all day, and like the niche for that's pretty small. And so when you talk about trying to bring value to your clients and bring value more so to what you're doing, providing content and talking about your wins, your losses, how you made it through certain problems, because an entrepreneur's main job is just like a firefighter, a professional firefighter.
Solving.
Issue comes up, put it out. Issue comes up. Like that's at scale. That's what it becomes to a certain extent until you start hiring those positions out, right? So like I want to see you kind of continue to bring more value by like actually digging into what made me get through this problem today. If you see a problem, document it, how you got through it, whatever it was, and I think more people need to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, talking about documenting problem solving, I didn't announce this yet on my channel, but I did announce it in my Discord. If you're not in my Discord, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But I announced it to everyone in there. For the entire month of May, I'm actually going to be starting an entire new agency, SaaS agency.
He didn't tell me about this.
I did not tell Derek about this. I honestly forgot. We were talking about some crazy stuff earlier. I kind of forgot. But yeah, I'm going to be starting from zero and actually documenting the entire process. I went over how to actually start everything. I had people asking me or telling me video ideas to make. Yeah. And one of the video requests was, how would you restart high level if you were a complete beginner? I gave you guys the entire blueprint from A to Z, what I would personally do and what I believe you should do to bring you the most success the fastest way possible. So building on top of that, I am going to be documenting everything, the successes, the losses, the times that I'm DMing people and not getting responses for consistent strikeouts, because
cold DMs are lit.
That's just how it is.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that series, that kind of month-long challenge, and it'll help you guys as well, just be more transparent and show you guys the entire process as well, because a lot of my stuff right now outside of the podcasting is just software tutorials, right, and lifestyle stuff, but you really haven't seen the nitty-gritty stuff that goes into it on my channel. So I want to show you guys, kind of pull back the drape, pull back the veil,
curtain.
Pull back the curtain to the back end of stuff of what it's actually like. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's dope. We talked about you having my girlfriend on here on the channel as well. She's runs a high level agency to an extent. She does web development and consulting for businesses, and I'm like, dude, like I feel like we could find a way to tie that in, and we could cut this part out if we need to right now, but I was just like, well, I want to bring it up now. It's like, yo, like if you did that, like not necessarily like a challenge, but like work with somebody brand new and like build an agency with somebody and scale that up and monetize like all that content of building an agency with somebody else, kind of sort of like training them through it. Because we talked about it, having you do training on Go High Level and stuff, right? Like teaching people on what you're doing and how you're doing it. Bro, that could be extremely beneficial. That's great content, huge value adders. I think that'd be smooth.
Jumping from talking about high level and all that stuff, I want to kind of switch gears figuratively and actually literally. Talking about cars here. I'm a big supercar fan, exotic car fan. For all you guys that watch my other content, you know I love that kind of stuff. Derek likes a lot of the sport stuff, but
modded sports cars.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
This guy mods everything. Do you want to tell them how much you have in mods in your Audi?
Oh man.
It's insane.
Yeah, so I have
and tell how crazy it is, like all the world records and everything.
Yeah. So I have a 2015 Audi RS5, and my favorite thing about that car is like people like hear that like, oh, all right, like cool, whatever, like it's an Audi, whatever, and they see people doing money and all this stuff, like, oh, where's your Huracan, you know, whatever, and the RS5's got 1,500 wheel horsepower, so it's like it's like insane. It looks like a normal car, and then you look in like, wait, there's a roll cage and 5-point harnesses and a fire extinguisher, and it's like it's a completely modded out world record holding car in the Audi RS5 world, in the Audi world in itself. It was built and designed to just be like a what the fuck car, and through and through that's what it became. And it's the perfect embodiment of like the way that I look at cars. Like I've been anti-Huracan, I've been anti-Ferrari, and forever. Like I've never had the Lambo poster. I've always been like, you know, it'd be way cooler buying like a sports car that's in the $40,000-$50,000 range, putting 3-4 times the value of the car into it, which is ridiculous. Don't do that. It's dumb. It's way too much. But then being able to just smoke anything on the road, like that's what I love. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, just to put that in the context, guys, as well. So if you guys watch Sebastian's content, I keep bringing him up because a lot of people watching this, they know who he is.
Yeah.
He just bought a new 720S.
Yep.
Super dope car.
It is beautiful.
It's a very, very cool car. But Derek would absolutely smoke him.
Yeah, so I was anti 720. I've always been anti Huracan, whatever. Like I'm an Audi guy, so like I'm into R8s. Like I think R8s are cool because like for a cheap price in relative terms to supercars or whatever, you can get into a crazy looking car, and there's 1,000,001 applications to go and bolt on turbos and go crazy with it. And so like in my opinion, as a fast car turning into a really fast car guy, I'm always been R8, and I was like anti 720. Sebastian was like 720. We went and checked it out, and I'm like.
You tell him the story of, like, you sitting in there with him, like.
Yeah.
So
he's like, dude, we gotta go check out the 720. I consider myself the local car guy, and he's like, we have to go look at this thing. I'm like, all right, whatever, let's go check it out. And we were both anti this 720. And we sat down in it and literally just looked at each other, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna need it. You need to take this thing home right now. This is pretty dumb. And 720s are crazy. They're insane performance machines. Love them to death. And it's just like, for me, like. What I love about my car is I know that like on a roll race, like it wouldn't even be a competition. Yeah. Nothing against 720s, nothing against him, but like that's what I love about my car is it's unsuspecting. It looks relatively similar to like an A5 that you can buy for like 18 grand. But it is beautiful. It's
the color's awesome.
One of 50 color, the rarest color they made the car in. It's a last year the V8. It's got every single spec that you can possibly get for it, every add-on, and then it's just twin turbo to manual swapped and just taken to like 12 out of 10. It's just everything you can possibly come up with to it, and
absolutely maxed out.
That's my dream. Yeah, it's literally my dream daily car, and it looks like a almost 10-year-old Audi, and that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. Don't get me wrong. There's some crazy cars, like next car into the collection needs to be a Viper ACR.
Yeah, you were mentioning earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I need a Viper. And again, because that's one of those cars, again, it's like you can get into a 720 for what you have to spend on an ACR Viper. And it's like so many people would never choose that. And like I have the 6-speed H pattern tattoo on my wrist.
Yeah.
I'm a manual guy. They only came in manuals. Like I need to have that car. And people look at me that are in the money space and guys around me that are making this money. They're like, why? Like, why do you? And
I'm confused myself.
I have to hate on Huracans, dude. I just have to because like everyone wants a Huracan. Everyone's got the poster, and I'm like, there's so many cooler options. There's so many cooler things you can do.
Yeah, you gotta be different a little bit, right?
What's that?
You gotta be different a little bit.
You gotta
be
different, and that's the thing. Like GTRs, like I'd hate to say I'm anti GTR because GTRs currently hold the roll race record in the world right now as of this last year. As a race fan. Texas 2K this past year, GTRs retook the world record, and like, but that's a 3,000 horsepower GTR. So I'm obsessed with that. Don't get me wrong, but every Wi-Fi money kid right now is like, I need my Huracan. They all want to go buy their GTR, and like these people around me, I try and like, dude, just do something different. Our homie Brandon, he went about an NSX instead. It's like, dude, that's cool and it's different. Like I like that, and everyone's gonna be pissed about this. Your whole Miami crowd, bro. I hate G-Wagons. Dude, G-Wagons are so cringy, bro. They're so cringy. Yeah, dude. Yeah, everyone on set's pissed. G-Wagons are cringy, dude. They're not dope. Like, don't get me wrong, the write-off idea of having whatever the title, whatever it is for the 7,000 plus or 5,000 plus pound vehicle, or whatever the rule is, I don't care.
How is it cringy?
Bro, everyone's just obsessing over wagons. Like, dude, it's just like, come on. Like, everyone needs to chill out.
Escueda just got his raft.
And I clowned him. Yeah, bro, for buying a wagon. I'm anti-wagon, except for the 4x4 squares. Those are lit. 4x4 squares.
Those are different.
Those are hard.
Yeah.
Those are hard. But the basic wagons, bro, like I'm in Scottsdale. Every 11th car is a middle-aged mom with fake lips driving a wagon. Bro, and then people be drooling over it. There's 22-year-old men that be on Twitter that talk about they're the most masculine thing they've ever met in their life, and they'll be at a stoplight in a matching wagon to some mom with fake lips that's never worked in her life. And I'm like, kind of awkward. So like for me, I'm like RSQ8 Audi. Like it's basically a Lamborghini Urus, and the idea is that it's just different. That's the whole reason I'm about it. Like Seb bought his Urus. I'm like, please, no. Don't buy the Urus. You just got to be different, and that's what I vote for, and that's just me. But that's how I've always been. I've never done the thing that everyone else is doing, except for the short form content thing. Everyone's doing short form.
You're doing it different, though.
We're doing it different. We're doing it different.
Yeah.
And it's like the 26-year-old, the 26-year-old with the hedge fund. Like it all ties into like me, like my on brand is everyone around me. I force them like just be different, just do something different and be original. I push that on you for our content, all of our clients. I'm like, be yourself because that's different.
Yeah.
Because no one is being original, and everyone wants a wagon because everyone on their Instagram feed has a wagon.
Yeah,
like, that's where it comes from.
Okay.
It's being original, being different.
I can see that perspective.
4x4 squared, go for it.
That's original.
Yes.
That's more original. I want to elaborate on that a little bit because I think last night we were talking about that a little bit about people not being original.
Yeah.
And these people kind of copying certain personas online.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name on Twitter? Do we want to mention him or no? Someone at dinner mentioned him. I think it was I think it was the Squid that mentioned him. The guy's on Twitter, and then Tristan responded to him, clowning him.
The money Twitter space is just like,
it's weird.
It's just a bunch of mirrors, which nothing wrong with that. Cool. Success has echoes, and I'm not one to talk. Like in my friend group, I'm not the most successful nor the wealthiest guy. And so like I only have so much space to talk, but standing on the ground of like originality and looking at that from that perspective, I've always just voted like, dude, be kind of different, do something kind of different. And money Twitter, all these guys, the same thing. Dude, the GT3 RSs, like,
the
yes,
Porsches,
I know it's cool. I know it's cool.
Here we go back to no originality.
Bro, again, here we go. Like this is a hot take, but all the OGs and like the veterans in the space that had their GTR, they had their Huracan or whatever, their wagon, whatever, and now are just drooling over GT3 RSs. I would buy a Cayman GT4 over a GT3 all day. And when I say that, everyone's like, dude, you're on drugs. Yeah, like what do you, like a Cayman? I'm like, in every regard, it is such a better car. In every single regard, with a couple $1,000s into a little bit of mods, in every way, it's a better car. But that's just coming from a purist standpoint. Like that's just who I am. I'm just different about it.
This man's got some hot takes. I can't lie.
I've got a bunch of hot takes.
Bro's got hot takes when it comes to cars.
Yeah, dude.
If I was more passionate, I'd start beefing, but I just don't care right now.
That's fair. Dude, yeah, after this, we're going to have to go to the car show down the road, and we can really talk about it all.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. For you guys that are watching this, we're going to bring the camera, do some vlog content as well. I'm on a podcast tour, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, dude.
And throughout the entire trip, I'm capturing some behind-the-scenes stuff.
Is it 3 time zones in 5 days?
Yeah, I think
3 time zones in 5
so.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6 days.
Jersey to LA to Scottsdale to Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In less than a week. So
that's dope.
Like I said, this guy has a bunch of hot takes when it comes to cars, but I think something really interesting that you guys would actually learn a lot from Derek from is his ability to actually network and really get in the rooms with people and really just be welcoming, provide value, and just be a cool dude overall. That's pretty likable. And how can you go ahead and explain how you basically leveled up and started working with these people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I appreciate that. So it's actually interesting. Like I said, I've been entrepreneurial for a very long time now. I'm on 6 years, I think, 6 years of doing this. And in the first 4 years, like I had some friends, my co-founders actually in the hedge fund, Josh and Jay, were just on me, dude. They're like, you need to be networking, you need to go out, you need to meet people, you need to come to these events. And I remember specifically like laughing, going like, what could other people help me with? Like, no one's going to come and work with me. Like, no one's going to show up to my shop and help me pack like products and ship them. And I would say that. And fast forward a few years, I'm like, dude, you couldn't have messed that up worse, because it's your wealth is 100% in your network. Like once you hit levels, build your brand, get it where it needs to be, but you're never going to get to a 9-figure position on your own. That's just not a thing. Some freaks, maybe. There's some freaks.
Very rare outliers.
Very rare. It's very difficult. So once I recognized, because at the club one time, I went out to the club with those 2 guys. They're like, you have to come on. I'm like, fine. We went out to the club back in Minneapolis, and I met one of my closest friends now, John. And like, literally, we're in the club, and I don't drink. I'm sober. I'm standing on the table, acting like I'm having fun or whatever, because I don't drink, and I'm not about the club, and they're smoking blunts. I'm just like, this is whatever. And this kid just comes right up next to me. He's like, yo, what do you do? And I'm like, e-commerce. I sell stuff on the internet. And he's like, oh, that's super dope. I run an agency where we scale up people's e-commerce brands. He's like, could I check out your guys' ad accounts and help you out? And I went, did you just walk up to me and say that? And I was like, are you good at it? Like I asked him, I was like, are you good at it? He's like, yeah. And I was like, what are you doing after this? And we ended up going to his place. He had just moved to Minneapolis. He had a penthouse like in downtown Minneapolis, ended up becoming one of my closest friends. And like we went over to his penthouse that night, and I was like looking around, and I'm like, this is what e-commerce can buy? I was like, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, wait, who is this guy? And that one night instantly opened my eyes, because he scaled up our brand. Like literally, like that weekend, we scaled my brand up. We jumped a couple levels immediately. I was like, oh, that's just meeting one person. He's like, oh, dude, you got to meet this guy and this guy and this guy. And we just went nuts. I've always been like a big communicator and talking with people and just being like, people think I talk too much, or that like I overpower or I talk a lot. And the way that I like to look at it is I just demand the room. And if you can command the room and drive in the attention in the directions you want, and this is selfish, but this is what it is, I get what I want out of the conversations. And that's my objective. And I look at conversations, I look at new people, and what can I gain out of this by helping them? And so if I can bring in useful conversation or assist somebody, I can probably get something either in return directly or indirectly. And again, not to be selfish, but this is what it is.
That's yeah.
That's what networking is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's what can I provide to this person so I can get from them.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds really scummy when you break it down like that, but that's all like relationships are.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Every relationship is some sort of
value exchange.
Exactly.
An exchange of value.
Exactly.
So what helps a lot is, like I said, I demand the room. I'm pretty consistent at demanding the room. And when I do that, I can drive the conversations where I want them to go. What helps is my girlfriend and I are very heavy on hospitality. And so long-term relationship, we've been together for almost 4 years now. And we always have food for our guests, drinks for our guests, everything, whatever they need. We'll help them out as much as we possibly can.
He's not lying. He treat me pretty well today.
We try our best. We try. Now, I'm not going to buy Rolexes for all my guests. Sorry, I'm not balling like that. I don't got a new watch for you right now, but I promise you, you're going to feel like you're at your own home when you're in my home. And so when we invite people into our home like that and we get to have those conversations, I try and find weak points in somebody else without digging directly. And a perfect example of that is, we'd asked earlier, how did I meet Sebastian Georgiou? Like, we talked about him a bunch, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. So John, that gentleman we brought up before, calls me one day. He's like, yo, man, we got to go to the gym. We're going to hit legs. I got a friend coming into town. I was like, all right, cool. And I'm training. I'm looking at this guy across the gym that came into my gym, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, I know that guy. I'm like, I don't know how, but I know that guy. And we ended up spending the whole weekend together. We partied. We had a bunch of fun. And I had no idea who he was. But, like, he got a little too lit, and I took care of him, and I helped his friends that he was with. And we fed everybody. We got everyone home safe. We went out into my home city. We took care of everybody, the tables, whatever, and we just took care of everything. And the weekend came to an end, and he left. And I go over to John. I'm like, dude, how do I know that guy? And he's like, you ever watch YouTube, the e-com guys? I go, yeah. He goes, you've watched his YouTube channels, and it instantly hit me. My first dropshipping store that we had ever built was literally built off his YouTube course years before that. And I'd spent the whole weekend with him and built a great connection with him. I had no idea who he was. And I'm like, bro, I've been watching him for years, and it just blew me away. It's like, okay, now I get to tap into that relationship. How can I help him? And so we just hit it off, and we had great conversations, and it just built into the friendship that it is now. Now I moved down to Scottsdale. I basically try my best to see him as much as possible, and I feel like he and I, because that weekend, built a great relationship. And off of that, it just led into someone like him may say, this guy Derek and his girlfriend will take care of you if you come spend time with them. They will, if you have a problem, he will do his best to solve it. He'll go out of his way. And this has a lot to do with my sobriety. If you're the sober guy all the time, you can get people home, you can solve problems better and faster, and you aren't part of a problem if people are out and doing stuff. If I'm hungover sleeping until 2 p.m., bro, like, how can I assist other people? How can I help my clients?
Yeah, you can't.
If I'm getting lit all the time, how can I help other people? My friends and my people around me, my network, know that I can be depended on for anything that it requires, and I will go above and beyond to solve these problems. And so people in my circle know, if shit hits the fan, you call Derek, because he will be sober. He's got a fast car. He'll be there really quick to solve it. I make that apparent to the people around me. I try my best, and I feel like I tried to, convey that message to you as well. And when people see that I will solve your problems as best I can, even if you don't have one right now, they may call on me later, and then together we can solve that, and it may monetarily benefit both of us, or just not even monetarily necessarily. It can benefit relationships if I needed to connect you with somebody X, Y, Z, whatever it may be. And so I just try to solve problems for people around me as if it was my own business, because when I started solving problems for new people around me, my business scaled because they introduced me to new scenarios and new value adds that I didn't know existed. Like I just had no idea. And so that's the game.
That was solid. I'm really glad you broke it down to like a sped level so everyone can like really understand
Explain it like I'm 3.
Yeah. So guys, you all better be taking notes on Derek's little rant right there about networking and
helping people
in
just
general.
Help people.
Yeah. Because a lot of people really aren't going to put in all that effort these days. They're just not, because they don't see the longevity and stuff. And George, our mutual as well, when I was with him a couple weeks ago, he brought up a really good point too.
No, he makes me look bad for how much value he adds. Dude, that dude's,
Not even that. Just he brought up a point that kind of ties in with that, what you were talking about. He brought up a point, if you guys watched the video with him, that whether you're going to build something now or a couple of years from now, if you have X amount of clients and I have an agency, and down the road we come together for something, it could be a multi-million-dollar deal. Yeah, that's not even in the pipeline right now, but it could be way, way, way down in the future. So you never know where certain relationships and certain friendships are going to lead to down the road.
Absolutely.
And especially at this level, with a lot of people doing a lot of things, Bro, things come together really fast.
Yes.
So
yes.
As you guys continue to level up and continue to just improve your life when it comes to monetarily, relationship-wise, networking-wise, you guys are going to see exactly what we're talking about in regards to a consistent upward spiral in all ways.
Yes. So that kind of comes back around, like I was saying, like when you, to go back to business, as you continue to scale and you get bigger and bigger and you've taken some big wins and you have people around you that know you've taken big wins, the idea of like conglomerates and like acquisitions and partnerships completely changed the game.
This is the big thing I learned from you today.
Yes. You cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid to give equity if needed, because a partnership like you and I, if we can find if I can find a value where instead of paying you like $100,000 to teach me, because a lot of people charge something like that, to teach me over the course of a year to be a part of it or to advise the business, like, yo, if I throw you 10% of this business, you come in and bring your value, like, are you down to do that and be a part of this and advise like directly? Partnerships like that can take a business, whatever, let's call it a $50,000 a month business, super dope, bunch of money, to a $100,000 a month business very rapidly, package it up, have your network tied into it, add that in as some value. Maybe you know a web developer that's better than mine. You make my website look better. You have a marketing team.
I do.
Yes, yeah, funny enough you do. You have a marketing team that's better than mine. They come in, they scale us up really fast, and all of a sudden we can package this thing up and sell it together at whatever, a decent multiplier. Like I said, say $100,000 a month, we go sell this thing for $5 million on a cool multiplier if it's got some AI in it, whatever, right? Yeah. But together, we were able to sell something for 5M, and you just came up 500K. And it's like, hold on. That's the way you need to look at business. How can we sell this shit?
Yeah.
Yes.
The money just spawns in.
Yes, dude. And once you get in that acquisition and the exiting space, things can get really crazy really fast. And a lot of the guys around me right now are overlooking at their agencies and what they're doing on a day-to-day basis and looking a year ahead as to what business am I watching being built right now that I could possibly buy, because they're already putting all this time and effort into that. I want to go buy this thing.
Yeah.
Or people around me that my business could benefit them. How do I scale this up in a way that tailors to them and start planting seeds in their head of, you should buy this from me. Like, I'll sell this thing to you, I'll build it. How should I tailor this towards your business now where it makes more sense for you to buy it in 12 months? Random examples. But that's the conversations that we have now, dude. It's not, I'm not like,
I saw it today.
Yeah.
We saw it today.
Yeah, literally got a phone call today of my friend that's in private equity. He manages $7 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah. You hear that? With a B.
With a B, like a big B. He manages $7 billion or co-manages. And he calls me and goes, we have a deal. Like, this is an acquisition that needs to happen. It hasn't hit market yet. And we did a 30-minute call breaking down with full due diligence performed and broke down equity splits on it and said, all right, you got to call on Monday with the founder. Go get the financials on it. Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, and just in that one deal alone, you mentioned splitting up equity. Guys, there's at least 4 or 5 people that I know of just from that phone call that I was listening to that are involved in that deal. I want to mention this as well too, because a lot of people that are coming up, I know are experiencing this because I experienced it.
Yeah.
I used to think that I had to do everything on my own. I don't know if it was an ego thing, or I don't know if it was just I had to prove to the world that I can do things on my own.
Yep.
But it will severely hold you back because you can't do certain things that someone else can.
Yep.
I can't get access to certain things Derek can, and Derek can't get certain access to things that I have.
Absolutely not.
So everything just works so much better when you just come together, work together, and things happen faster, easier, and everyone is allowed, or everyone's able to actually leverage their own skills and make things just crazy good.
Yeah. So one of my terms or sayings I like to go with is as a business owner, if you're going to take, when I say a hat, I mean like the hat that says marketer on it. If you're going to take the marketer hat off and put it on someone else's head, as a business owner, you're going to assign a marketer or give it to an agency. When you take the hat off, give them the hat and don't think about it again. Take the damn hat off and forget about it. Let that person run it. Don't get me wrong. Check in as a founder. It's your business, it's your baby, whatever. But if you're going to take off a hat, make sure that someone else has it and they really have it.
Yeah.
And as you hand off those roles and those positions, if you do it at the beginning on something like this, an acquisition, we had 5 people on that, or 4 people involved in that deal. We're going to have a chief technical officer, a CMO that's going to handle all of our marketing, a CEO that's going to oversee everything, myself on the ground floor for operations and scaling. Like that lineup right there. That's what I'm best at. The CMO that we mentioned is going to be the best marketer we could possibly find for this particular product, and our technical officer that's going to oversee the scaling of the tech itself. I don't know a better guy for it.
Yeah, he has like the craziest guys for it. Like,
and so that position just makes sense.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And everyone's going to eat off of it. The idea on that would be literally an 8-figure come up on the exit of that brand, because we'd put 4 people or 3 people, whatever, 4 people all in the right spots where they need to be, whereas one founder's been trying to run the whole thing himself over the course of the last 6 years.
Yeah, and this site is so beat.
Yeah, exactly. And if we can bring 4 people in that all wear a hat the best of anyone else that we know, that thing can scale so fast.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest lessons learned as an owner. If you're not good at marketing, take the damn hat off. Give it to somebody else. If you're a good operator, then just be an operator, dude. Quit trying to be a closer, right?
Yeah. I want to elaborate on that too, because I just thought of this right now. Bro, when I first started YouTube, I was like, nah, I can do thumbnails. I can do the editing. I can do all this stuff by myself.
Nah.
And realistically, like, I can.
Of course.
But it's not going to be the quality that I want it to be.
Nope.
For those of you guys that have been watching me for however long, or even if you go to watch my older videos, you're going to see the quality of the videos. It's just quiet, not engaging.
Hopefully the audio is good on this.
Yeah, right? There's no like crazy zoom in effects, no text over the screen, no B-roll, none of that stuff. Because I believe that for right now, I can go ahead and do this all by myself.
It's a money thing too, though. Benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt.
It
if you don't have the bread to run it up right away, then just at least take the jump.
Yeah, it depends what position you're in. Fortunately enough, and thank God, I'm in the position where I can go ahead and delegate certain things, and like you said, pass the hat off to other people that are good at what they do. So shout out my video editor and thumbnail maker. Shout out to you, bro, as well as my shorts editor. Because something else as well. I just remember this. I was making my own shorts. I was
not ideal.
I was sitting hunched over in front of my computer, chopping up these clips, dragging and dropping, typing up all the copy. I wasn't even using CapCut for the captions. I was typing each letter for every word. And dude, a 30-second clip was taking me like an hour and a half to like review to really get it the way I wanted it to be.
Yes. And it's not to say there's anything wrong. Like if you're editing clips right now and that's what you do full time, dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But that's just not what Frank's good at. That's not what I'm good at. If you're good at that, run it up for sure. But it wasn't what you're good at, so it didn't make sense. Delegate. Boom.
Yeah.
Pay somebody to do it that's better than you.
Yeah.
And make sure they know they're better than you. And they'll keep doing it.
It's not what I'm the best at, and it's not what I want to be doing, because I know that I can be applying my knowledge and applying my information to help other people in a different aspect while delegating that to somebody else to make things just 2 times better.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's really good coverage on that. Like that's one of the greatest lessons that I've learned in owning business so far is like you're going to overwhelm yourself. Everyone always does. You can only take so many stimulants in a day to try and cover as much stuff. Like you will run out of time.
Yeah.
And everyone always does it. And the faster that you can delegate that stuff, when I'm approaching a problem or we have a deal coming up that like I need to put a proposal together for, I'm not the proposal guy. Will, my VP, he's a proposal guy. He can kill a PDF and throw together a pitch deck, and he can do it in an afternoon. It takes me a day and a half, or a guy on Fiverr, $150. I'm like, why? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. A text message to Will, and he will crush that, and it would take me a day and a half to do it, and he's going to outdo me anyways. So just delegating those hats and making sure the best people are in the best spots. Yeah, absolutely. But people skip over it. They don't look at it.
All right. Well, we've been going here for a minute. I want to ask a final question here, and then I'm sure you'll spin it back on me. What overall, and then you can go into as much detail as you want here, what are your goals here for the next 12 to 18 months when it comes to scaling the business as well as growing your brand and just anything?
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
As you know, I just turned 26 about 48 hours ago, 2 days ago, give or take. At 26, I realized, okay, like, I kind of got to bring it up a notch. I've done a lot. I've done cool stuff, but we kind of need to change it up. And I set myself a handful of really big goals for this year, and to not necessarily go into major depth because I don't like speaking those things out necessarily. Monetarily, 8 figures this year would be cool. That would make sense. That's applicable for this year. Like we said, we have a hedge fund. I want us to be managing 9 figures. We have to hit the 9-figure mark this year, or in me being 26, before I turn 27.
By next April.
Yeah, next April. And like something like that, when I say that to people, that's gnarly. Make 8 figures and bring yourself up to managing 9. But it's super applicable. This network that we have, the people we talk about that we know, it's applicable.
Yeah.
There's some personalities I want to meet, and when I say this, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I want to meet Andrew Tate this year. And it's not just because of the act of meeting him. It's all the things that would have to come into play and all of the triggers that would have to occur for that to happen. For that to occur, I feel like 5 or 6 specific, pieces would have to go into place for that to happen. And if those things happen to me, that's going to be super beneficial for everything. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's the end result I want. What are the things that have to happen there? We're going to analyze those as we go. And I don't, like I said, necessarily need to go into depth to those. But on my personal brand with my network, I want to build to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube before I turn 27. That's not going to be very, very hard. It's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be very hard. I have 500 right now from a few videos I did like a year ago. And I keep looking at that YouTube channel like, I can talk about so many things. I want to do it. So I want to expose my personal brand hardcore on Twitter. I'm gaining fast, and that's been fun because I've gained a lot. This relationship came from Twitter. Like, I've gained a lot from there. So in the course of the next 12 months, I don't have 18-month goals. I'm not huge on setting those goals and stuff. I've got it, in my specific note areas around me on my laptop, on my phone, on my whiteboard and stuff, where if I can accomplish 8 figures generated, 9 figures under management, meet Andrew Tate, and 100,000 on YouTube, my life will be dramatically farther and closer to where I want to be on a long-term basis than it is right now. And it could just position me for so many cooler things. Like I said, I want to get into private equity acquisitions, exits, getting involved with angel and seed investing in companies, dude. That sounds so cool to me. So that's where I want to go. Mm-hmm. But like you said, leveling up into something like that is a wild thing to talk about, like those things. Yeah.
Before you flip it on me, I just want to really let that marinate in your minds too, because like you said, dude, a lot of this stuff will melt people's minds. Like thinking about these numbers, and I remember a time as well where, bro, even thinking like $1 million was a lot of money.
Granted, it is. Granted, it is.
It is. Yes. It is. We're not being. Yeah,
we're not there. Yeah, I promise I'm not there yet. Yeah.
We're not being like douches about it, but the whole reason I'm saying that is because your perspective changes over the years of what you're doing, the people you're meeting. Bro, today we're talking about stuff, and there's multiple people in this building that we're in right now making over 10 bands a day, some even way more than that per day on average. Like, who's doing that? Like, a very, very, very small percentage of the population is doing that. So when you're around it, in your case, every day, it's going to rub off on you.
Normalizes it. It normalizes it. Dude, I moved down here like 8 months ago, and not long after moving down here, I was like, a homie called me. He's like, yo, can you run to the bank with me real quick? I just want someone with me. I'm like, yeah, for sure. And there was just a duffel bag with $400,000 in it. I'm like, what are we doing? What is that? What is that? Who does that?
Yeah, who does
There's $400K right there in a bag. Why do you have that? He's like, I'm not going to tell you. Okay. Is it illegal? He's like, nope. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go to the bank. I guess we'll drop that off together. He just wanted somebody else with him, right?
Yeah, for security, yeah.
But you see that and you go, oh, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I don't have $400K cash just like chilling. Like, oh, I need to bring that to the bank now. Granted, not many people do, but it's like I'm clearly doing something wrong because I'm 3 years older than that person. Why are you doing that?
That's the craziest part.
Yes, dude. The age thing doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense, and I'm in it. I'm in this game. I watch it happen. I know 18-year-olds that are bawling out of control. My partners in my businesses are bawling, and I watch all these people doing all of this, and I'm just like, anything's possible. It doesn't matter. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
It's said time and time again, every single day, every podcast you watch, and I want to get really serious about this part. Like,
bro.
Everyone says you do whatever you want, set your mind to, you can get it done. And every time I've sat down and set a legitimate goal, monetary-wise, relationship-wise, network-wise, and went, I need to fucking crush this. This has to happen. And I wrote it down. I told my girlfriend about it. I told my 1 or 2 business partners that we communicate with, and I sat and focused on it. They continuously happen. And when you see people around you doing it, your environment matches it. It makes it so much easier. The idea of get out of your hometown as fast as possible. I can't recommend that enough. When I left my hometown, my life 10x'd instantly in every measurable fashion. And watching it happen for so many people is like consistently so inspiring. And I want to just make sure people understand that it is not some, that was lucky, or that's just, that's not for me. Everything, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever it is that you genuinely set your mind to, and you bust your ass to go and do it. And just spend time in the right networks. Move to a city where you can see it, or if you can't afford to move to a city where you can see it, spend time on YouTube listening to people that are talking about doing it. Not guys that are already billionaires that talked about how they did it, which helps. Don't get me wrong, but talk about guys that are 2 or 3 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, not
listen
too
to
far
those
ahead.
people. Yeah. If you listen to the way that those guys are moving 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, put yourself in the mind space of 2 or 3 steps ahead, which might be just another zero in the bank account. Talk and listen to those people. You're going to easily acclimate yourself to what that takes. You go, okay, cool. I can see the world in a different perspective. You hit that next zero, then do it again. I watch guys 1 0 or maybe 2 zeros ahead of me in terms of net worth. And those are the guys that are driving me to understand what the next levels and the next steps need to be.
That is literally where I believe I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned a point of getting out of your hometown fast.
Please, God, move down here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We already mentioned that at the beginning of the podcast. You know where I stand on that.
Scottsdale.
Yeah. So
Scottsdale all the way.
Just being around.
I sit on this rooftop every morning.
Yeah.
I wake up, Andrew Huberman type shit. I wake up, I throw shorts on, throw a t-shirt on, depending on how hot it is, and I come straight up on this rooftop, and I sit about 4 feet to my right now. And about 2 miles that way, right behind us, there's a private airport. And every single morning, I will see between 5 and 15 private jets landing in Scottsdale. G's, whatever, doesn't matter. G550's flying in. And you're looking at those going, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Because I'm tripping over buying a Dodge Viper. It's $200K.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I got to buy a Viper, dude. I got to buy a Viper. And I see 10 to 15 private jets on a Wednesday morning
in the area,
flying in, coming in here. Whether they're full of people or one person, which is almost more annoying. Constantly just dumping in here. And I watch that while I start my morning. I think about what I need to do that day. And you just yep, we got to do something cool today because I need to do one of those. I need to do that. I haven't been on a PJ yet. I have to be on a PJ. I don't know why I haven't been yet. And when you're around that and you see that every day, it completely changes your perspective. Because right now, if you're some 18-year-old kid and you're just doing your thing, you're getting into business, and you're driving down the highway and you see a GTR and your mouth starts watering, you get amped. I see freaking Gulf Streams come flying by, and I'm like, I'm doing nothing cool. Yeah, I'm lame. I suck.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, a Gulfstream is top of the line private jet.
Yep.
A newer one will run you around 60, 70 million.
Yeah.
An older one from 2013 is still 30 million, 40 million.
Plus,
so
yeah.
They're really, it's a lot of money.
They're ridiculous. Grant Cardone's new headquarters is about 2 miles down the road. I'll see 10X Cardone planes. He flies in this airport, he parks here, and he goes to his headquarters, which is right down the road. I've seen his plane flying multiple times, and he's got a crazy plane.
I've seen his plane.
Yeah,
dope.
Dude. And you're just being here just changes the whole perspective. It ruins small wins, which is kind of lame, but it amplifies everything in terms of I'm one step closer to that plane or whatever it is. And it's not just a YouTube video or a poster on your wall of a Huracan, don't buy a Huracan, or a cool background on your phone, whatever it is. And it just scales everything up so many notches, and it just makes you want to chase more.
Yeah, it'll open your perspective. It'll just change the way you think about money, and just really make your life a lot better, honestly.
He's going to move into this building.
Yeah. It's looking like that. It's looking like that.
So now, all right, all that being said, let's flip it on to you a little bit.
Okay.
You got the next 12 months ahead of you. I don't know how much longer you're going to be in Jersey for, but in the next 12 months, monetarily, agency size-wise, content, scale-wise, and maybe some big guests that you're set on hitting let's just say 12 months.
12 months?
Screw it.
Okay. So just to put things in perspective too, 12 months ago right now,
yeah,
I didn't think I'd be where I'm at.
You weren't even a business owner yet.
Correct. I wasn't a very super successful business owner. Most of my success is from investments. I'm not going to cap.
Which is dope.
So, but just mentioning that where I'm at now, I wouldn't think this is where I would be 12 months ago. So it's kind of hard to imagine that. But my goals and what I'm expecting monetarily in the next year, 3 million.
Dope.
3 million total.
Dope.
So
absolutely.
A lot of the guys here in this building, we think that's some weak money, but
no, dude, everyone will hype you up. I promise you. Everyone will hype you up.
That's I think that's my goal right now, monetarily. When
it's a big number.
When it comes to agency, that's total, not new.
Yeah.
But when it comes to agency, it's going to be. I really want to scale the agency to at least the affiliate side to $50,000 a month.
That's a fun life.
I think that's very, very possible.
Yeah.
In terms of what I'm already doing, and what in terms of the value I'm providing you guys, and just helping you guys too. Because
absolutely,
if I can help you guys, then it helps me. It goes back to kind of being selfish a little bit.
Yeah.
But no one's doing anything for free, if we're being honest. But
no,
you guys are benefiting off of me from that as well. But besides affiliate side, if I want to talk about clients and stuff, I'd like to scale that to like 20, because
cool.
The affiliate side is a lot actually easier to scale opposed to the client side. Perhaps in the future I'll make some videos regarding affiliates or how to be a successful affiliate, because for you guys that are in the high level space, you guys know who Dominic Baptist is. He's the #1 high level affiliate in the world. He's making around $180,000 a month just in affiliate commissions from high level. So,
which is crazy.
And I'm his #3 affiliate, sub-affiliate right now.
Oh, dope.
So
dope.
Out of all the people that have signed up with him as his affiliate,
yeah,
I'm the 3rd in the
You're
world.
up top.
Yeah. So that's pretty dope, right?
Correct.
But I want to be able to go ahead and scale that up, and then show you how to be a successful affiliate as well. And that way we all win, right? I might honestly sign a lease here, and then just to lock it in, and then just bounce here back and forth for a bit.
Absolutely.
Until I really move here like long term.
Absolutely.
For a longer period of time. So I got to think about that. So in terms of moving, get out of Jersey.
Your YouTube channel.
And
where are we gonna take it?
Yeah, my YouTube channel. So that kind of ties in with the high level stuff as well, because without YouTube, I can't really scale the affiliate stuff to the way I want to.
Yeah.
Because you need awareness and you need eyeballs to get people to sign up, right? So YouTube channel. I really don't have any astronomical goals for YouTube. I want to talk about a quick story real quick too, which is kind of funny here before we wrap this up. But for years, one of my closest friends, Mike, shout out Mike, we became close friends junior or senior year of high school. So I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. Since day one, he was telling me to go the influencer route. And for the longest time, I was like, nah, I don't really think I want to do that. I don't really want to put myself out there. I kind of just want to build stuff behind the scenes and not really be a public figure.
Yep.
But over the years, as I've gotten more and more into the space, I've mentioned this before in the podcast with Shane, the FaZe Clan guys got me into the entire social media world. So I was very familiar with how a lot of things work. And a lot of people really aren't that tapped into it. Like, people are on social media, but they're just not really like following super hard.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I already have a little bit of knowledge opposed to a lot of other people in this kind of space. And as I continue to, build more success over the time, I was like, let me start posting cool stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it started out on Instagram. For those of you who follow me, it's my same handle as YouTube, Frankify.
You got dope Instagram.
I appreciate it. So I put a lot of effort into it for networking, just building a personal brand.
It's intentional.
Yeah, everything is intentional. So yeah, building the brand, building the social media following, and then building YouTube. I finally went through with it in the most recent 6 months, and here we are today. So my goal with that, I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, if it cut out, but my goal for YouTube, honestly, is around 20K. I'm not really going to be too crazy with it, but all my other endeavors, I'm a bit more optimistic. You don't really need that many crazy subscribers to achieve what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
So
yeah, agreed.
So it doesn't have to be that insane.
No.
But yeah, I mean, to wrap that up and keep it short and simple, but 12 months from now, next April, $3 million total.
Yep.
And 20K on YouTube.
20K on YouTube.
And then living here.
Living here, yeah.
So
nice.
Dude, in the past day, I've changed from all in Brickell to like all in Scottsdale.
Nah, Miami sucks.
So, guys, I want to go ahead and wrap this up. I know we've been going on for a little while here.
Absolutely.
And I really want to just shout out to Derek for being dope, showing me around, and just
had to show you a good time. Absolutely.
Good.
Appreciate you having me. Like we were talking about, like, I'm bringing my social media presence back around. Hopefully this was, an invitation or, invite to come check out some of my stuff. We talked about Twitter for me is kind of the main. YouTube is coming back around. I'm not going to do TikTok, sorry. And my Instagram's kind of fun, but not that cool. So, with Twitter, at IMDWilms, I think it is. And then YouTube is just going to be Derek Wilmer. We'll tag it.
We'll put it on screen for you guys.
We'll throw up my YouTube, and I'm going to be coming in there playing around a different level. I'm going to talk about some stuff that not enough people are talking about in in what it looks like to be getting into the acquisition space, what it looks like to do due diligence and make your company packaged and ready to possibly sell it, and bring guests on to talk about that stuff and go a little bit more in depth on larger levels of business past just, how do we bring our ROAS up on my Facebook ads right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of content Derek's really good at, is the real, like, super high tier, like S tier type of scaling and S tier type of deals.
Try my best. Yeah.
So,
dope. Well, like I said, yeah, appreciate you having me on. I had a lot of fun. I hope we had some good stuff here, and like comments on anything we talked about or questions, please throw comments in there. I'm going to scan any questions like crazy. I would be all over answering questions and connecting with people.
Guys, I really want to thank you for watching this podcast. If you made it to the very end, I really appreciate you. This has been another podcast, another episode out here. So I'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.
All right.
Nice.